t-shirt that you are wearing. I didn't know I knew someone who had done it.
Yeah.
So please tell us about that t-shirt.
Yes, I'm wearing the fall Door County Peninsula in northeast Wisconsin. Yes, go Packers! It is a 50-mile run that I did in 2013. It was my best run ever because the 4 P's were perfectly aligned: planning, preparation, pace, and purpose. Perseverance, and praying. This was the highlight of my career. And in fact, I was gonna tell you that I wanna talk about my failure. I'm a high C, and I am coming out and telling everyone that I failed. Of the 14 marathons that I run, there would have been a 15th, but I did not finish. It's a DNF, marathon number 8. So let me tell you that story. Russ was saying yesterday to share your failures, so here it goes. It was 2 months after I ran the 50-miler. I signed up to be a pacer. Well, I was a pacer for about 3 marathons. I was the guy running with this sign. On one side, 8:35, that's your minute per mile. And on the other side, 3:45. It means that I was gonna bring my pack of people across the finish line in 3:45. A lot of responsibility. It was not just my race, I was responsible for them to cross at 3:45. It was West Palm Beach, December 8th, 2013. In the corral, it was 78 degrees. You do not want to run a marathon when it's 78 degrees and the sun hasn't risen yet. Yeah. So by then, I was very much in tune with my body. It was my 8th marathon. The year before, I ran Boston. 2 years before, I ran my Boston qualifier. 3 years before, I did an Ironman, and I had already 5 half irons under the belt. So I knew my body pretty well, so I was pretty comfortable at pacing. But by mile 13, halfway, I brought all the people doing the half marathon through the finish line at their target time, perfect. I was feeling a little bit tired because by now the temperature was probably 82, 85 degrees. There were 3 people following in my group. I was leading 3 people. It was mile 15, and I was always, as a pacer, you're always checking your watch. You run every mile at the same pace, plus minus 10 seconds. So the challenge is tough. It was hot, and by mile 17, I was only carrying 1 more person, and I was 2 minutes behind. And I'm also a thinker, a C, so I was doing the math in my head. I'm 2 minutes behind. I have like 7 miles ahead. You don't want to make it up in 1 mile because you're going to burn those people out. You want to take it in small bites. And by mile 17, I was already like 2.5 minutes behind. And then I was fast by half a minute. So I said, I could not have run it that quickly. So anyway, mile 20, I was not chased by anyone. I looked to my left, looked to my right, no one was in my group. So that was the moment that I said, I cannot cross the finish line as a 3:45 pacer at 3:48. I cannot do that. So I dropped the sign, I took off my pacer shirt, and I walked the rest of the marathon. And I want to bring this back to coaching. What does this mean when I connect that to coaching? 3 things. Can I borrow your notes? I'm kidding! I brought my own.
Such preparation.
All right, pace. And I'm speaking to the coaches that are under 2 years as a coach. Can I see your hands? Yeah, okay. Keep your hands up. For those of you that think this is harder than you thought it would be, before you come into FocalPoint, put your hands down. So if your hands are up, it means it looks like coaching is harder than you thought it would be. Yeah, okay. All right, got it. Folks, it's not harder, it is different. It's different from what you were doing before. So we were all probably the 1% of whatever we were doing before we came into FocalPoint. Now we need to do different things, yes? Whatever brought you there will not take you here. So prepare differently. I was prepared to run 10-minute miles for the 50 miler, and I signed up 2 months later to run 8:35s with the weather. And later on, I realized that they put the mile markers in the wrong place. So I was timing a mile at 0.95 of a mile. That makes a huge difference. And the next mile was 1.05. So that's why my timing was off. But I didn't know that until the following day. Anyway, pace. Define your ideal client. Preparation. It's not about what you say your ideal client is what the ideal client sees in you, that you add value to them in that niche that you are defining. So it's not who you say your market is that market sees you as someone who adds value to them because they're in that ideal client pool. That is preparation. And the last thing I'll say, because I already took too much time, is you cannot make up with perseverance whatever you didn't do in pacing and preparation.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah. So just like lectures, if any of those is 0, the end result is 0.
Someone said say it again.
Yeah.
You made up for that earlier comment. Say it again.
Crossing the finish line of a marathon is just like that. The pastor wanted me to say that again. No. You cannot make up in perseverance what you did not do in pacing or preparation.
I'll ask a question here. As